Now in this video, I'd like to go through the exams appeal process for 2021. Now this is really something that you should think about if the grade that you got isn't what you expected. But there are some downsides to it, including the fact that your grade could go down. And also you need to really think about, do you actually need to appeal your grade? Has your grade got you onto the next stage of your education or your career? So for example, you might not have got that grade 9 for GCSE, but maybe your grade 8 is good enough to go and do A Level physics, in which case you probably don't need to appeal. Likewise, it might not be exactly what you expected at A Level, but if you've got onto university and the course that you want to, then I suspect it's probably not worth appealing and just kind of look to the future and go from there. But in this video, I'd like to explain, really for students and parents, what you can do if you think there's been a genuine error in the grade that you've been given. Now, it's no secret that this year has been absolutely rubbish. And so was last year with the whole kind of COVID thing. The fact that you didn't get a fair chance to do an exam to actually show what you're capable of. Now, your teachers have been working extremely hard, and what they've tried to do in a lot of the cases is probably give you the benefit of the doubt. But they've also had to be true to their profession. They can't just give everybody the highest grades, even though that's what they love to do. They've had to look at the evidence available. Now on results day, when you do get your grade, if it's a lot lower than you expect, then what you can do is think about putting in an appeal. Now the first thing you need to do is you need to speak to your school or college. There might be something on their website. They might have already sent you a letter about what exactly is going to happen on the day. And it might be the exams officer, perhaps a head of year, perhaps a deputy head academic. There's going to be somebody that you can go and see or contact if you think there's been a mistake. Now, there are two sorts of appeals in 2021. You've got priority appeals and non-priority appeals. The priority are for students who may be doing their A Levels who haven't got onto their first choice course at university. They're going to be the people who need to get their appeals in first. There's a couple of deadlines. We've got the 16th of August is the date, if you're an A Level student, when you need to lodge an appeal with your school. Now, effectively, what's going to happen is the school are, first of all, just going to check there hasn't been an administrative error. For example, somebody maybe just put in the wrong number and then they click submit without checking it thoroughly. So the first kind of thing you can do is actually just speak to your school, and they might go, is there some kind of process that's not been followed where the wrong grade has just been submitted? Is there a genuine error? Now, if you're not happy with what the school say, you can then appeal to the exam board. And the deadline for this, for priority appeals, is the 23rd of August. And that's the date when your school, on your behalf, put in the appeal to the exam board. And then the exam board can check that there's been no errors in terms of the grade that's been awarded. Now, here's a warning. Your grade could go down as well as up. Perhaps you've been given a B and you think you deserve an A. The exam board might look at that a little bit more closely. They might look at the evidence your teachers have actually submitted, and they might say, well, actually, you're only really worthy of a C and your grade will go down. And once you put that appeal in, you can't take it back out again. So your grade would be lowered. Now, there's obviously a very small chance of that happening, but it's something to be aware of. The other thing about the appeals process is that if you feel you should have got an A, but your school gave you a C, then you can't really appeal the judgment that your teacher put in based on the evidence that they had. You know, differences of opinion, that's not really enough. Just because your parents think you should have got an A and you feel that you deserve an A doesn't necessarily mean that you'd get it. And in actual fact, there's a load of information. This is actually published by the Department for Education. I'll put a link to it beneath the video. And this blog thing actually has some kind of commonly asked questions by students and parents, but it's actually really hard to find. It's almost like they put it out there a few months ago and then it's kind of disappeared. But this guide here is really useful. So yeah, just because you've got a difference of opinion doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get a higher grade. Now, for non-priority appeals, this is basically for GCSE students or maybe A-level students who don't need to have that grade ready for sort of September, October 2021. It might be people who are already going to be doing a gap year, maybe they've not applied. The dates for those are slightly different. Again, I would speak to your school as soon as you can, but the deadline for the non-priority appeals is the 3rd of September, and then your school will have to then submit that to the exam boards by the 17th of September. So sort of quite late in the summer holidays. And basically, there's a whole appeals process. It's all kind of quite transparent. But if you're not sure, speak to your school, speak to your teachers, and maybe see what they advise. But I would say it's quite a rare thing for lots of people to kind of put appeals in and all of their grades to automatically go up. Now, ultimately, if you're not happy with the grade that you've been given and you've got the opportunity, there are going to be exams in the autumn of 2021 as well for both GCSE and A Level. Hopefully, most of you won't need to do that because you'll either be onto your A Levels if you're have just finished GCSEs, or you'll already be starting at university. Even if it's not the course you initially picked out, it's still going to be the thing that kind of leads on to great stuff in the future. So hopefully you won't need those autumn things. Anyway, if you want to find out more about this, definitely have a look at the links beneath this video where there's some documents that you can read, and it's worth spending the time doing that. But also make sure that on the day that you go to collect your results, so your results are given to you, you know how to contact the right person at your school. And again, they should be giving you information about how to do that. Hopefully, you won't need any of this because I think most of you will have got the grades that you were expecting. A lot of you will actually have got higher, I suspect, than if you'd actually done the real exam with a little bit of grade inflation. Anyway, that's just my thoughts as a teacher now making resources for students. And don't forget, I do have loads of stuff if you're going on to study GCSE or A Levels this year. I've got loads of stuff on my website. You can find, again, all the links below this, as well as stuff that you can buy, like revision notebooks and so on. Obviously, again, look in the description and the links beneath this video. Anyway, I hope that helps you. Overall, though, my advice is that it's probably not worth putting in an appeal unless you can see that your grade is substantially lower than what you expected. And obviously, once you've checked with the school that it's not just an error where somebody's put in the wrong number or the wrong letter on the forms that they submitted, I would have thought that not many appeals this year are going to actually increase the grade that you've got. So yeah, there we go. That's what I think personally. Until then, make sure, of course, if you haven't already done so, that you do subscribe to my channel where you can stay updated with all of my videos about the process of exams and what might be coming up over the next year, as obviously we react to this crazy COVID situation and obviously all the disruption that brings. Fingers crossed, 2022, we get back to normal and exams happen again. So until next time, goodbye.